Yo, well, I thought I grabbed video when I first started my first piece of fiberglass and epoxy. It didn't go well. I tried to do full half of this thing in one shot, but I knew going halfway through it, I was just screwed because everything was moving around and I didn't want this secure on me. So I stopped, noticing some of the flaws here, but I cut out all the glass that I didn't use. You see all those little spots. Then I cleaned it up, grinded it all down, getting ready because I did learn that, I can actually just glass over the spots that I stopped and keep going. So I cleaned it all up, was looking inside. I don't know what I was looking for. I was just showing off the rocks. There's the rocks on the inside. Got it all ground down and start putting on small pieces of fiberglass. So instead of just doing one big old piece of fiberglass across the whole entire side or the bottom or the inside, I just started doing little bits at a time. And I found this to actually be the best method to get through it. So I kept cranking on the side that I originally started with first, putting down little bits of fiberglass cloth and epoxy. This method made my life so much easier. I could just pre-cut a few pieces knowing where I was going to put them, and then go mix up a cup of epoxy, get through it, then go to another section, get through it, and then whatever I had left, I could come back through to some of the areas that I could, if I found any that were not fully seeped in. This made my life so much easier. You see me here doing this little side, put a little more. And oh, also using a brush, way better for me instead of using the squeegee thing. Those little squeegees that I got from Total Boat. Nothing that there was wrong with them, but the way this hot tub is built, it's power carved and it's rough. And knowing it's rough, there's going to be tons of areas that are not filled in or not seeped in. I mean, it's still solid, it's still going to hold water, but it seems like it's got air pockets in it. And so it's not a completely glass like. I did actually get this whole thing fiberglassed over this Thanksgiving holiday, which is good. I mean, right here you can see I'm still actually just doing the first side I started with. Should have made this video faster, but oh well. I'm already down to 13 minutes. Let's see if I can talk for 13 minutes. I think I've only talked for 2. Doing this epoxy and fiberglass project on this hot tub was 2 reasons. One, I didn't want to build a new hot tub. 2, I wanted to learn how to work with fiberglass and epoxy, find out what works, how it works, what's the best method, or at least the best method right now, and get better at it because I do have plans for 2 or 3 other versions of my trough style hot tub. Trough style hot tubs, those water troughs, those aluminum steel things you get at Home Depot or Tractor Supply, those things are uncomfortable. They're only a couple feet deep and like 18 inches wide. Not comfortable to sit in. This thing is comfortable to sit in. You can float in this thing. 2 people can fit in there and you can relax and lean back. Seeing here that I've got the whole outside done. This is great. Let this thing cure overnight. I think this was Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. I had to leave Sunday after Thanksgiving, so I only had Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to do any more. So right here, you can see me. I'm just kind of going around looking for any sharp areas so I can go sand them off before I flip this thing over. Don't want to catch my finger on anything before I turn this thing over. There's the sander. I did actually already cover some of these spots with epoxy after I did this. When I get back from this work trip, I'll go sand this thing down, cutting out the bottom drain hole right now. Probably could have done that later. Now I've got this thing turned over. I think I got some of the videos out of order. But trimming off the dried pieces so I can go sand on the inside and the top and get ready to do the inside of this thing. The inside of this thing, I actually decided to do the very bottom first. Sand, 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 blah, blah, blah. Talking to myself. I have no idea what to say. Sanding down some of the epoxy drips on the inside boards that came in when I was doing the outside. Oh, need a new sanding pad. New sanding pad acquired. There we go. Much better. Let's get this done. Yada, yada, yada. Yes, I am wearing leggings. It's cold. All right. Getting ready to actually starting the bottom. You can see I didn't start all the way at one end because I wasn't too sure how much epoxy I was going to need. And so I started in the middle because I had one big sheet I could cut from the roll of fiberglass. Kept going, cranking through it. I think maybe I should stop talking here for a little bit, pause the video, and go change the speed of this video. I think I'll do that. Stand by. Okay, much better. Rest of the clips I sped up just because this is going to take too long to narrate this whole thing, because what is there to talk about? Just sitting here putting epoxy on, brushing it on little bits at a time. I did find the brush way easier to help impregnate the fiberglass as I went through, and also didn't tug on it too much compared to using the squeegee. I did watch a couple of videos though, and it looks like when I actually get ready to put the next fill or flood coats of epoxy on this thing, after I actually sand down some of the drips and sharp spots, to use a roller. So I'm gonna go, I think I actually got a couple of rollers already. I just need to go get like a little rolling pan, and I'll mix up a batch of epoxy, pour it in the pan, and maybe let it cure a little bit. Or maybe I should go buy some of the medium hardener instead of the slow hardener so it doesn't take so long to cure. Because that's the issue, is it, since I've got the slow hardener, and if I create a drip, then it's going to drip because it's going to harden slow. Or if I can try to time it to where I can put it on, let's say mix the epoxy and then maybe let it sit for about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. It does depend on the temperature when I get home. When I left on Sunday, I'm up in Pennsylvania right now. It snowed a little bit tonight, just a snow squall. And it's been, I think the high is at like 38 degrees. At home, I think the high is about, been in the mid 40s. And I think it might warm up a little bit when I get home. But almost done with the bottom here. Yes, you can see a spot there that, I didn't brush it all on. That's just because it wasn't really fitting. So I figured I'd let it cure and then slice it out. Done with the bottom. And I already did one side right there. You can see where I was pointing. And I don't know what I was touching there. That side already done. And I think I'm going to turn it over here. So now I can get ready. So I've already done the insides. I did two big pieces and I pre-cut a whole bunch of pieces for the ends. Just because of those compound curves, I figure if I was doing little strips at a time, it'd be much easier. And yes, that was way easier to do it that way. So I pre-cut all my strips and started brushing it on. And I actually went back and forth from side to side-ish so that way I can get it all to sit easy. Or I don't know what made sense. It just made sense to do it that way. Started on this one side, went to the other side, kind of went back and forth and met in the middle. Lining it up. Yes, I do wear leggings. Yeah, the leggings I wear, those are from Matador Meggings. They're actually leggings made for men. They have no VPL. What is VPL, you ask? Well, VPL stands for visible penis line. Now, they do have like a little modesty pad in there. You can leave it in, take it out. After throwing it in the wash a few times, the pad gets lost. But you still really can't see the Johnson while wearing them, depending on which color I have. I got 4 pairs of these, but 2 of them I don't really wear anymore. This camouflage one and my other ones are my American flag leggings, two of my favorite ones, and they're super comfortable and warm. There you go. So I did a little bit on one side. Now I'm doing a little bit on this side and kind of working myself a way around. On the spots with the rocks, I got pretty decent results. I mean, there's some areas that have some air gaps. I wouldn't say air gaps, but it didn't fully seat against the rocks. But I still think it's actually going to look pretty freaking cool. I'll do another video of, shorter video when I get home before I start sanding this thing down and waiting for its flood coat or fill coat. But doing this cut little strips, do a little bit at a time. You can see over there just a second ago, I put my left arm in the fiberglass and that was bummed. I got epoxy on my undershirt, but it's not that big of a deal. They were cheap. Costco brand special, 32 degrees, heat wear or whatever. Yes, I shop at Costco. My wife must have been grabbing something out of the closet and I didn't even see her. Maybe I did, who knows? Putting a big piece right there. Almost done. I wonder how much more time I've got to talk because I'm just sitting here talking and talking and talking. But I think I'm almost done because this was the other end, I, the last end of this thing to do. And yeah, it's done. The thing is fully glassed inside and outside. And when I get home, I will sand this thing down, smooth it out, and put one or two fill coats or flood coats on this thing. And this thing will be ready to move outside. I haven't decided if I'm going to put any varnish on this thing. I should call Total Boat and ask them if I should. Thanks for watching.